I do have a heads up weather for the Ozarks. Now, most of this is going to be northwest Arkansas, but some of southwest Missouri is included in this. And originally, this was a flooding threat, and there still is a lot of that, especially if you go into northwest Arkansas. But this is brand new. We have a tornado threat through a significant portion of northwest Arkansas as well. I'm meteorologist Ted Keller. Let's take a look at what's going on. So, this is the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for Tuesday. This is all modes of severe weather. So, it would be wind, hail, and of course, tornadoes. But we'll look at tornadoes specifically here on the next slide. But this is basically for Tuesday. So, the Storm Prediction Center considers Tuesday anything from 7 a.m. Tuesday to 7 a.m. Wednesday. That's the 24-hour period they're looking at, Central Daylight Time. Just to keep in mind that, so when you see this, it doesn't mean that it's all day. I really think that much of this is storms that are expected to fire in this area late in the day on Tuesday and then travel eastward deeper into this yellow area. So this is a 2 out of 5 risk. It's actually fairly significant for fall, not significant really much at all in spring. We see it almost every day. But for fall, and since we haven't had this for a while, it's something to keep an eye on. It might have gone out of your memory or out of your look. You're not really necessarily looking for severe weather this time of year. Now, this is really what caught my attention. There's a 5% tornado risk for this area that does include, not quite Joplin, but if you're down around Pineville or just south of Cassville, you're in the 5% tornado risk. That's the brown area. Even if you're not, the 2% risk extends through at least Springfield and a little bit north of that. So keep that in mind. But certainly you can see the epicenter of the tornado threat for Tuesday is right in Fort Smith and in all areas surrounding that, including the populated areas there in northwestern of Arkansas, obviously, eastern Oklahoma, getting pretty far east into Arkansas as well. So, what is going on? Well, when you want a tornado development, you don't want it, but if you're looking for it, you're looking for low pressure. If you can get low pressure to develop at the surface, it turns the winds in a certain way that make ordinary thunderstorms, all things considered equal, a little more prone to produce a rotation in the lower part of them. So if we look at this HRRR, this is a computer model of what things are supposed to look at. Notice this low right here and how it kind of reforms a little bit and then tracks through Oklahoma. So if you're looking out ahead of this low, that's where the winds might start to turn more out of the southeast and would be more favorable for thunderstorms to produce rotation in the lower, well, just rotation in general, and then in the focused on the lower part of the storm where all the tornadoes, of course, originate. So if you look at that, you got a little squall line right here that goes through Tuesday evening, and then you got another little development area right here. That's in the afternoon. This is the evening right here. So you've got actually two areas. But I think of the two, we'll watch this loop one more time. So here's the low developing through Oklahoma. This right here is a band of probably ordinary showers and storms. Could be a few thunderstorm warnings in that. And then this activity right here is primarily, I think, what the threat would be for tornadoes. So just keep that in mind. So if you're looking at what time frame that would be, it'd be late Tuesday afternoon and into early Tuesday evening. I think this loop stops at about 9 o'clock or so. So that's that threat. Now, the flood watch that's in effect does not technically include Springfield, but it does include, let's say, the extreme southwest corner of Missouri, as far east as West Plains, all of northwest Arkansas, a good chunk of Arkansas actually, and then extends back off to the northwest. So here's the precipitation outlying here, the forecast by the Weather Prediction Center. They look at rainfall totals with a whole department that just focuses on that. So when you see yellow, you've got 4-inch totals. So we got a couple of batches of that following up here, northern Arkansas in particular, and then right along the Kentucky and Tennessee border. And so this is the next 3 days, but the bulk of this is expected to form later tonight through Tuesday into early Wednesday morning, and then the threat would pretty much cease. So the last thing we'll do is take a close-in look at what that latest forecast is for areas of northwest Arkansas. So you see 3-inch totals around Fayetteville and Rogers, Mountain Home almost 4 inches. Fort Smith is being clocked in at 5.5, Russellville, Arkansas 4.2, and Conway 4.3. Again, I wouldn't marry those particular numbers to my mind for those cities, but you get the general idea that there's a belt of about 5 to 6 inch rain totals That'll occur there north of I-40 and basically in the north central part of Arkansas. I did want to show you one more thing. Sorry, I had one more slide. I just want to show you that this is not necessarily bad news on the rain department, because especially southwest Missouri portion of that, even though we're forecast to get a little less than we originally thought, is still in a pretty dry area. So this would be welcome rain. We don't want the severe weather with it, but sometimes they go hand in hand. So that's today's weather. A heads up weather for the Ozarks outlook. If another one is necessary, I'll bring it to you early on Tuesday.